Welcome back to Squawk Box. If you are just waking up, global markets now responding to Israel's limited attack on Iran last night. Dow futures initially falling more than 300 points, but they now moderated. Join us right now, James Stavridis, a retired U.S. Navy admiral and former Supreme Allied Commander of NATO. Good morning to you. We're all trying to make some sense of what we've just seen taking place overnight, how limited this strike really was, how performative it may be, and frankly, whether this is going to escalate things or not, Admiral. What do you think?
Limited strike, very muted, carefully calibrated would be the phrases that come to my mind, Andrew. Clearly, Israel had a basket of options early in the week. They could have done nothing, pursued diplomacy, used cyber, or they could have gone big, gone after the Iranian nuclear facilities. They certainly have that capability. They chose something kind of in the middle, but really on the small scale side. Attack launched at Isfahan, it's the third largest city in Iran. Think Chicago in a U.S. context. But very small packages of explosives from what we can see. Certainly drones, not manned aircraft, all intended to say to the Iranians, look, we can come in your house when we want to. We're not going to blow it up today. But I think that message was delivered, and I'll close with this, Andrew. Both capitals, Jerusalem and Tehran, are downplaying the events, de-escalating. Israel's not even acknowledging it. The Iranians are saying, hey, it was no big deal. I think we're in a pretty high probable moment of the state-on-state violence diminishing. That shadow war probably continues.
Okay, so the most important piece, though, it sounds to me like, is if in fact in Tehran they are not talking about this as an escalation, that this really does feel it's moderated. You talk about the shadow war continuing. What does that look like in your mind?
Three places to watch. One is proxies, so that's particularly Hezbollah. Hamas obviously is kind of cornered in Gaza, but Hezbollah, southern Lebanon, to the north of Israel, 100,000 missiles available. Watch for that to perhaps ramp up a bit. Again, Iranians are not going to unleash them on Israel at this point. They're trying to de-escalate. Second, watch what happens at sea. You know, the admiral's going to say that, but Red Sea, Houthis, is that going, looking like more of a spike? And then finally, Andrew, watch cyber. Look for potentially an escalation in the shadows in the world of cyber.
Do you think the U.S. will be dragged into this, Admiral?
I do not. First of all, President Biden needs a full-blown war in the Middle East. I'll use a technical military term here, like he needs a hole in the head in the middle of an election year. So he will do everything and has done everything and has done a pretty good job, his administration has, of avoiding being dragged into this. And then secondly, at this stage of things, Israel can handle itself and protect itself. It's got its hands full. The key thing from an Israeli political perspective is what's happening in Washington with the aid bill to Israel, also to Ukraine. We'll know if that passes. I think it will over the course of this weekend.
Okay. Admiral, I want to thank you for joining us, helping us to try to understand what's taking place. And it sounds like this is on the better side of good news after this attack. Thank you.
You bet.